Welcome back, everybody, and I just have one question for everybody. We haven't done this in a while, but I haven't asked this question in a while. Why draft blank? Why draft something? So I'm going to continue this series now that the WDL season's over. I'm going to be doing some of the videos that I was doing a little bit before the WDL started, and I had a lot of fun doing that Why Draft series, just picking random Pokemon. And if you haven't checked them out a while ago. It's probably a little while ago, but they've kind of explained just why a Pokemon has value, why it does well, what partners does it need, what does it need for success, what tools do you want to draft with it, like, because a Pokemon is only as good as its supporting cast, right? Unless you're like Raging Bolt and you can throw it on any team, whatever. Or like Fluttermane or whatever it is. So I wanted to continue this series. So the Pokemon, if you looked at the thumbnail, the Pokemon I'm doing today is Blastoise. Why draft Blastoise? I'm going to give you many reasons why you draft Blastoise. But you might be asking, why, Jay, did you choose Blastoise? Like, you did Annihilate, you did Mousehold, Ogerpon, things like that. Why Blastoise? That's so random. Well, if you've been paying attention to the channel, Blastoise just kind of with its... I was going to say single-handedly, but that's just not true. But it actually won James Baek the WDL finals against Wolfey, and Wolf had no answer for it whatsoever. So just to kick things back off, because we did a wide draft videos a while ago, and now we're going to be doing a little bit more of them regularly. I've got like 4 or 5 queued up, ready to go. I have to record them though, but I've got all of the preparation done for it. So I just have to kick them off, and you guys will get all the information. So in this series, I tell you why a Pokemon's good, all the different sets you can run with it, or the ones that I can run with it. It's only just 6. I only have 6 slots on a team, but I go over them in Pokemon Showdown. And then I go over the good tools you want to have beside it to give it success, or something that this would give success. And then I give 3 good partners, 3 or 4 really, really good partners that you might want to consider drafting. But I guess I'll get started. So yeah, so I did a few of these. This was actually really easy to make, to be completely honest. These sets just kind of popped off my phone when I was making them earlier today. And I figured I would just start off with the one that won it all. So Blastoise, Terra Grass, Assault Vest, and Wave Crash, Ice Spinner, Fake Out, Aqua Jet. Yes, this was a set that was specifically designed for Wolfey's team, but it looks like a pretty strong set to begin with. But why is Blastoise just decent? Before we get into any moves, before we get into any abilities or anything, which it doesn't really have an ability, but whatever. Let's get into the stats. So this is a very, very bulky Pokemon. So why is a Pokemon that offers something, whether or not it's a high attack stat, a high special attack stat, or just super, super fast Pokemon, or in this case, it's super, super bulky. And bulk is not the same when it comes to just bulk. Like, you don't just grab high defensive stats, HP defense and special defense, and call it a day. No, it has to have decent typing to be considered decent, right? What resistances does it have? Like, I know that what's it called? A Brute Bonded is an example of something that has bulk, but it needs a very specific team beside it, because it has, what, 7 weaknesses? It's one of the worst type combinations in the game. But it does offer a few decent set of resistances and immunities, things like that, being Dark and Grass. But this Blastoise being Water type, a bulky Water type, I know singles players, they basically have this as a must draft on their singles draft. Bulky Water is I don't do a lot of singles draft, but the fact that I've even heard of it means that it must be good. And then there's like, what's it called? Hazard, Remover, and Spinner, and all that stuff, right? I'll eventually get into singles. I don't really know what I'm doing right now, but the fact that I've even heard of these things mean they must be super valuable. And here's why they're valuable in VGC. Say a bulky Water type is good because Water has nice resistances. It's only got 2 weaknesses in Electric and Grass, and Water just hits a lot of things neutrally, right? So Blastoise, with its bulk, it can kind of switch in on quite a bit. And one of the other cool things, looking at one of the moves it has on its first set, is Fake Out. So having a bulky Pokemon in the back row, like, you can think of a few of them right off the top of your head. You got what's it called? Incineroar is a really good one. Iron Hands is another really good one. Hariyama, Wolfey had. So just to be able to switch in, take the hit, and then Fake Out, right? It just allows you to reposition, and James did that all season. So Fake Out is just one of the reasons why this is good, and you're basically going to find it on almost every single set here, because Fake Out is just so good. But Terra Grass was just a very nice defensive typing to Terra into for a Water type. Wave Crash is 120 base power move. Ice Spinner isn't super strong with clears terrain, but it's just like solid ice damage. With 80, not bad, can't miss. Aqua Jet for priority just to knock off those focus sashes. But the offensive stats are horrendous. 83 and 85, that's pretty bad. Well, Wave Crash, like we'll get into base power of moves and stuff like that, and how I value a higher base power attack over an actual attack stat. So, but the way that James used this, and we'll get into this a little bit later, is he actually used it with the Assault Vest to give it the 1.5 boost on its special defense here. And its defense is already naturally high, but he went and used coaching with his Annihilate. Sorry, no, his Cinderace, that's what it was. Very, very fast coaching user. And he was able to give it a +1 defense and a +1 attack before it got these really nice attacks off. And it was just almost impossible to take down for Wolfey. So, and it was very, very strong. I think by the time he took it down in game 2, it was too late. It did come down anyway. You guys have seen the match, whatever. Blastoise is very, very tanky. All I kind of wanted to say. This is the first set I wanted to kick off that James won in the finals with. But let's get into other things that Blastoise can do. This is not your standard Blastoise set. This is more your standard Blastoise set. Just full support. Fake out once again. It gets Icy Wind, Yawn, Life Dew, so it can keep your partners alive. Run statuses, make them switch out, things like that. Icy Wind, so you can always protect with the partner, then get an Icy Wind off, just in case the partner is going to be slower than the two on the other side of the field. Protect with the sweeper, the more frail sweeper. Take the hit with the Blastoise, throw the Icy Wind off, get them at -1 speed. Now the partner is set to start doing damage. And not to mention, you can just start going for Protect and Life Dew, Protect the Icy Wind, Protect Yawn, all that fun stuff. And then Terra Dragon is just a very nice defensive Terra. Well, you'll notice that a lot of these have different Terra types because Blastoise can have so many of them given the matchup itself. And then Leftovers just keeps it alive. Normally you like to run a Protect on a Leftover set, but whatever. I was just throwing items on there. We haven't really talked about the abilities yet. That's because they're not good. I don't know if you're running Blastoise on a rain team, but maybe. I guess you could. Water Spout in the rain's pretty good, which, oh, I spoiled one of the other sets. But anyway, so yeah, Rain Dish really isn't you. Like if you're facing a rain team, Blastoise could be really nice. Like Joey had, you know, he had like a hard rain team. And then you get the extra Leftovers boost from the Rain Dish, I guess. Yeah, but I've never really even seen it activate before. Torrent, it only really works if you're at 1/3 or less. Okay, I guess, you know, you can stick around a little bit. But let's just pretend like it's an Iron Hands and has no ability. Anyway, next set, Hybrid. So you can run Blastoise in a hybrid support and just annoying set as well, right? So another Assault Vest set, Terra Steel. Muddy Water is really, really annoying. You'll notice that James Baek throughout the season used Muddy Water just for chip damage. It's not super accurate at 85% accurate, but it does target both slots. So even if it hits one of the two, you're just sticking around long enough. You do 25%, then 25%, then 25%. And next thing you know, you've done enough HP damage to your opponent without them targeting down the Blastoise. Not to mention, you can get some accuracy drops too with the Muddy Water just to make things really annoying. Icy Wind again, Aqua Jet again, and Fake Out again. So you don't necessarily have to run full support. You can run the Muddy Water just to do a little extra damage as well. And then just an AV for support. Like if you're going to run the Yawn set or whatever it is, you could just put a different item on there, or Citrus Berry or whatever it is. But I just threw the AV on there because you got 4 attacks. Why not, right? But a more offensive set. So a lot of people are probably more familiar with the White Herb. Hold on, where is it? I was supposed to put on Shell Smash. Shell Smash. Oops. Maybe Ice Beam. I don't know. I'd probably put Dark Pulse on there just because you don't want to be resisted by water types. So anyway, so you go for the Shell Smash. You get the White Herb off. You don't lower your defenses because just in case you guys don't know, Shell Smash gives you a +2 special attack, +2 attack, and then you lower your defenses by 2 as well. But with the White Herb, it actually just washes out those drops, but keeps the boost. But it's a very tough strategy to get off without redirection or Fake Out or whatever it might be. But so you don't see it super commonly used, but it is used. So if you can get +2 and a Water Spout off, this thing is just sweeping things, sweeping teams, right? So Shell Smash also gives you a +2 speed. I didn't even mention as well. So Blastoise middling speed at 78. That's neither hot nor cold. So it's not slow, not fast. It's kind of unusable. It's really just there to tank hits. But with a +2 speed, This, without investing anything, I'm almost 200, 196. That's pretty good. Outspeeds Kilowattrel, outspeeds Weavile, outspeeds not base 200s, but you get the idea, right? It's pretty fast. So, okay, well, now it outspeeds Spectrier. Fantastic. Now it outspeeds Fluttermane. Cool, right? So it doesn't take much after a Shell Smash. Water Spout, just in case you guys don't know, 150 base power, hits both sides of the field, but does less, not both sides of the field, both targets, and it does less damage as you take hits, right? So you pretty much got one bullet in your gun. You're probably going to get hit unless you just wipe the field, right? So maybe pair it with something that can heal you, Heal Pulse or whatever it might be. I've seen people run that with Torkoal, with the eruptions and stuff. I think there was a really neat Slowpoke heal pulse after setting Trick Room, which would be really cool. But yeah, so Dark Pulse, just so you can hit other things that are resistant to water, such as Dragon or water types or grass types or whatever it is. Dark is just a very good neutral attack and also gets some flinches with your +2 speed. So why not? And Protect down there, because once you get those boosts, everybody loves to target down that Pokemon that has those boosts because they're very, very afraid of it, right? So you might be able to Protect, get some repositioning with a partner with Fake Out maybe, or Feint, or whatever it might be. So yeah, it just gives you, once you threaten offense, such as boosts with Shell Smash, you're living rent free in their head, because now you can kind of be like, well, they have to attack this slot because they're not going to let me sweep them. So you can just get a Protect, get a reposition, and then go for it. So you can play those mind games there. Terra Water just boosts the damage even further. Another set you can run on Blastoise, which James did not run this season, you can run an Iron Defense Body Press set. I threw Terra Fighting on there, not because it's optimal, just because it does boost that body press damage. Because it has such a high natural defense stat, a +2 defense, Iron Defense, and then a body press after, does a lot of damage. So again, without investing anything, we're at 240. 240, imagine if you had a 240 attack stat, and you did a move that was 80 base power. It'd do a lot of damage. It's basically Kartana, right? So why not? So, and then we could even just get maybe a little bit higher. Now you're looking at like we're over 300 defense here, right? And I don't even have a boosting nature, right? So technically you could get what, 330 defense, and then you Terra Fighting, so 330 damaging stat with a 80 power move. You know, not bad. It's not bad. Does a lot of damage, and it also makes it harder to kill. So Leftovers, Protect, just sticks around a lot longer. You guys have played and seen Iron Defense Body Press. We've all seen the Zamazenta stuff. So this is kind of like your, I don't know, pseudo Zamazenta. So go for it. You heard it here first, folks. Blastoise equals Zamazenta. I said it, right? Anyway, just clip that and just make me look bad. Whatever. Let me see. And not really a set itself, but just additional moves you can run on a Blastoise set in a given week. Haze is really nice against a Dondozo or setup Pokemon, like maybe a Volcarona or something like that. Goes for the Terra Grass, starts going for the Quiver Dances. You could just haze them off. Dondozo I mentioned, after getting the double Omni boost with the Tatsugiri switch in, you could just haze it off. Pretty much any setup Pokemon, you could just go for hazes. Don't really need to get into it. Helping Hand is kind of sneaky too, right? Because some people like faking out this Blastoise. It's not the fastest thing in the world, so you just go for Helping Hand. Has a higher priority than Fake Out. Helps the partner. Maybe something Ghost type that can't be faked out, or Cover Cloak. Does extra damage, right? Water Pledge, just in case you wanted to run pledges, because I know Pledge Swamp is a thing, so you could have something like maybe like a Meowscarada next to this thing. Goes for the Grass Pledge, and then you get the Water Pledge that goes off after. I believe it's a 150 power move, or 160 power. I think it's 150. So you basically have the fast Pokemon use Grass Pledge, and then immediately after, there's nothing in between. The Water Pledge goes off immediately after at 150 base power move. Does a lot of damage, and it puts up Swamp, which allows your opponents to only have a quarter of what their speed stat is. So it's even better than you setting Tailwind. So it's very, very good. You can run pledges on a team as well. And then Whirlpool, just in case you wanted to play some stall stuff. You could always add that to one of your other sets, maybe the Iron Defense Body Press set. Instead of Dark Pulse, you can just go Whirlpool or something like that. So you could always go for Iron Defense, Whirlpool. They might go for a switch or something like that. They can't switch out. Protect, and now they're taking Chip, and you're healing at the same time, just to kind of stall things out. And trapping doesn't necessarily have to be with Perish, by the way. A lot of people, this Perish Trap is like one word. No, it's two words: Perish and then Trap. So you could always just trap, and now they can't switch, right? So if they have an AV set, they can't switch. There's no pivoting. They have to take the next hit. There's no protect, no nothing, right? Yeah, just a very cool set. I think Blastoise has a pretty vast kit. It has a lot of things it can do. Like there's a lot, like even flip turn, right? I know James ran flip turn a couple of weeks. What else? Life do I mention? Mirror Coat's kind of cute. Rapid spin for you singles players. Roar, I wanted to fit that on there, but I ran out of slots here. Weather Ball could be neat, and just so on and so forth. Blastoise is a very, very cool Pokemon, but every set that I just mentioned needs a partner, needs help, right? Needs tools, right? Either this is going to support something else, so be a tool for it, or this needs a tool to set up. So what are those tools? So useful tools that Blastoise could use. So I'm just mentioning this one just because this is what James... Oh, he didn't use the Annihilate, so I guess I could just use the Annihilate as an example. It was the Cinderace, right, with the coaching. So I do have coaching on the Annihilate here, so you can do coaching again. I did mention with the Helping Hand next to a Ghost type, so they can only fake out the partner, then you just do more damage with the Annihilate. But also Bulk Up here too, a Bulk Up Pokemon or Setup Pokemon. The Blastoise just fake out, then the Bulk Up goes off. It's even stronger, right? Harder to take out, and so on and so forth. And then you can go for that Protect, Icy Wind, just in case because what was the set I was looking at? This is the support set. Yeah, so imagine this, turn 1, fake out, Bulk Up. That's cool. They might get a hit off on the Blastoise because you just faked out a Pokemon, or they pivot or whatever it is. They might not get anything off, right? They might just double Protect, and now you get a free Bulk Up. Awesome, right? Next turn, Protect with the Annihilate, go for the Icy Wind. Now they're at -1 speed. Now your Annihilate can start doing mega damage, right? Or you can go for a super greedy Bulk Up again, whatever, right? So that is one way that you can run, something that you can run on Blastoise. And by the way, this Annihilate can be other things. So a Bulk Up, this could be a Chestnut, this could be a Ceruledge, this could be a Calm Mind user, a Swords Dance user, like a King Gambit or something. So again, anything that can set up, and then also any coaching Pokemon. So you could have like a Hitmontop or something like that. You go for fake out coaching into your Assault Vest. Blastoise, just kind of like James did in his week. I have Farigiraf here as well. Again, doesn't have to be a Farigiraf. It's just the only Trick Room setter I was thinking of. So if you want to set up Trick Room, so Farigiraf can use its own Trick Room. What's another Pokemon that can use its own Trick Room? Hatterene is another one. So you can go Hatterene, Trick Room fake out, or sorry, Trick Room fake out. Trick Room goes up. Now Blastoise can just do a little bit of damage beside because it's not super fast. And then the Hatterene can use its own Trick Room to get going, right? Blastoise can even flip turn the next turn, right? You go for the fake out Trick Room's up. You go for the attack and then the flip turn out. Now you can get your sweeper on the field, potentially for free, depending on how fast your Blastoise is. So I just put the Trick Room on there. Again, this Fair Draft can be anything. It could be anyone. Another one. So I have a Follow Me user. I did mention we have Shell Smash sets. I did mention we have Iron Defense sets. So what would really help with that? You can run a Fake Out user. I know Clefable doesn't get Fake Out. Imagine any Fake Out next to it. Or just straight up Follow Me, right? I figured Clefable would be really nice to have on a team like that. Could be Clefairy, could be an Ogerpon, one of them. It could be a Rage Powder user. So again, just redirection next to this Blastoise to get it going. So if you did want to build a team around Blastoise, or Blastoise is going to have a big part of your team, if you go get some redirection or a Trick Room setter or a coaching or a setup sweeper, these are things that Blastoise can really benefit being on the same team with. And I do have Fluttermane here. Why do I have Fluttermane here? Oh, Switchin', that's what it was. I think, so Fluttermane is weak to Steel, so a lot of people want to use Steel moves against it. You have the Blastoise switches in and is immune to it. What is another weakness Fluttermane has? I forget. So it's Ghost, Steel, drawing a blank here. This is awkward. Is it only the two? Just going through, I'm pretty sure it's the two. This is awkward. Anyway, I can't think of it right now. So it is just a good switch in for it, right? And also just a partner that it can... It's funny, Blastoise actually used to get Follow Me, and it doesn't anymore, thank God, eh? But yeah, so Fluttermane could just benefit with the Blastoise next to it as well. Again, I built this like yesterday, or I can't remember why the Fluttermane's there. So I got a full set, so apparently there's a reason why. It's really fast. So anyway, those are some useful tools. What are the actual partners that myself would actually recommend that you target down in a draft. And these are very good Pokemon. These aren't just tools. These aren't just like the last set I just did, useful tools were just generic things. I just put an arbitrary Pokemon on there just so you can see it, ideas. But these are actual Pokemon I think can do very well next to Blastoise. So Ogerpon Hearthflame, I love Ogerpon Hearthflame. I think it could do so many different things. It's an amazing Pokemon. It does have the Ivy Cudgel and the Woodhammer, so, and then that Terra boost from its Terra ability. Well, the Hearthflame Mask ability, right? So it gives us a +1 attack when it does an attack. But Blastoise can go for, again, you got the Icy Wind, Spiky Shield option, just in case Ogerpon's facing something faster. You could go for a Spiky Shield, Icy Wind, now it's faster. You can go for Fake Out with the Blastoise, and then with your Ogerpon, you can go for maybe a Focus Energy, you can go for a Swords Dance, or you just go for straight up attack. That's fine too. And then at the same time, you can go for Follow Me, and then the Blastoise can be the offensive threat. You go for Follow Me one turn with the Ogerpon, and the same turn you go for Shell Smash. That in a draft league, close team sheet format, that could be very sneaky. I think that most people would be like, oh, this Ogerpon's going to Terra and KO me. Let's reposition. But Follow Me and Shell Smash, now you have 2 sweepers on the field at the same time. So that could be really cool. And not to mention water and fire hit a lot of different things. Just watch out for dragon type. So maybe have a fairy type in the back row. Yeah, that's how you build teams, guys. Speaking of taking out dragons, I have a Como right here. I did mention that having a Pokemon that likes to set up next to a Blastoise for the fake out and a bulky switch in or whatever it might be, Como might actually do the trick, right? Because also Como can switch in on what Blastoise is weak to. So Blastoise, I mentioned earlier, is weak to electric and grass. Como, any dragon type really, but this is just one that can set up. It could be a Dragonite, it could be anything, right? But Como, I don't put it on a lot of teams, could be pretty cool. It's not usually the most expensive too, so looking for value picks. You can go for the switch in, or you could just go straight up for the Clangorous Soul, get the Omni Boost, so fake out, Omni Boost, and go from there. So Blastoise can just support that really nicely. You can go for Protect, Yawn. Now they have a decision to make. Do they want to stay in and attack your Como while it's about to set up? They might switch. You get the free Clangorous Soul off. A lot of different ways that you can run a Como next to a Blastoise. And then last, I have Chandelure. Chandelure doesn't really get talked about a lot because Flutter Mane exists, unfortunately, but I think Chandelure is fantastic. Again, Chandelure can switch in on grass moves for the Blastoise, but you can also go for Calm Mind setup. I'm talking about Fake Out, then Setup. So the Chandelure can set up with either Calm Mind. It doesn't get Nasty Plot. I looked it up, which really sucks. But Trick Room as well. So Chandelure can either set up 1 week, or it can go for Trick Room, or 2 in the same week, right? Fake Out really helps that. And again, something with a middling speed tier, you know, so if you just go like this, I always know this specific speed stat, so 134. So if they get a -1 speed, now Chandelure's faster than base 200 Pokemon. So like Spectrier, whatever it might be, or Jolteon, or what's another 200? I can't think of any right now. But yeah, sorry, no, base 130. I keep saying base 200. It gets to 200 speed, not base 200. Base 200 is Regieleki, and it gets to 277. Yeah, numbers. But anyway, so yeah, anyway, so the Icy Wind can help the Chandelure as well, just in case you're not going with the Trick Room mode, and Chandelure just does stupid amounts of damage. So essentially the same thing that these three have in common. So partners that would really benefit from being on the field with Blastoise, or even on the same team, is setup, lots of damage, and more setup. So switch, if you ever want to, you guys can do these yourself, by the way, right? So you guys can actually pick a Pokemon that you want to build around, find switch-ins for it, find out things that it can support, find things that can support it, right? There's some Pokemon that are never used, but can be very good next to the right partner or on the right team, right? I get asked all the time, hey Jason, is this Pokemon good? What's on the team, right? Like, I could have, I don't know, what's a good Pokemon? Ogerpon Hearthflame, very good Pokemon, right? If it doesn't have speed control, if it doesn't have redirection, if it doesn't have intimidate, if it doesn't have yada yada, all these things to make Ogerpon successful, then it's not going to be very good. You need to deter things, right? So, which we've been into a little bit with these Y Draft series. So, but basically, so that is all I really have to say right now. I do have more things to say about Blastoise, but just any Pokemon in general, I have lots to say about. So that is Blastoise. And that is all the reasons why you should draft Blastoise. How do I want to end this? I did want to say something, but I completely forgot. So, oh yeah, not just comment, subscribe, and like, and all that fun stuff, even though you should do all three of those things. If you're not already subscribed, guys, what are you doing? Smarten up. You know what I mean? Anyway, and if you think you're subscribed, go check anyway, because you might not be. I think that's pretty smart too. But if you like these Y Draft series, hit like just so I know that you guys actually like them, because I think they're pretty easy for me to make, and I can pump out a lot of them. I can pump out quite a few before Gen 10 even comes out, and then Gen 10, everything will change because there's new movesets, new Pokemon, new items, new everything, right? New mechanic or gimmick or whatever it is. So there's over 1,000 Pokemon, guys. I could do any Pokemon. I think I've done like 6 so far. So I like doing them. If you guys like me doing them, like watching these things, ideas for your next draft, let me know down in the comments which Pokemon you might want me to cover next. I do have like 4 of them ready to go. I might be doing like Ursaluna coming up. I might be doing... hold on, I've got it on my phone. What are some... just to tease what I'm going to be doing next. Oh, I actually did them on my work laptop. Never mind. Yeah, Ursaluna, and I can't remember the other ones I had lined up, but they're really cool. Yeah, so tune in. Again, hit like if you want me to do more of these. Hit subscribe if you aren't already, because you're going to miss all of the Y Draft stuff. You're going to miss Ditto Draft League stuff, which is coming up in, like, I think 2 weeks, because this comes out on Friday. So 2 weeks from now, when you're watching this, you're going to start seeing the Friday games. I think the first match is actually Alex U Splash versus... is it Zem? I think it's Zem. Yeah, but anyway, I have like a schedule and stuff too. This video is not meant to plug the DDL, but just so you guys know, that's probably why you guys are here, because DDL is going to be freaking awesome. But anyway, if you guys want some help with your draft, let me know. Drop down in the comments what Pokemon you guys want me to cover next. If there's a, if there's a strategy with Blastoise I didn't cover, let me know as well. Again, you guys know I love to have conversations. So I will end it right there. And that's all the reasons why you should draft Blastoise. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.